Yeah, you know what this means? The Mark 11 micro quad frame is now out in the wild and you can download it and print it yourself to make your own. You can only get it off My Mini Factory though. Go there, follow the link down in the description and it'll take you right to the file. It's a free download. You can print this bad boy off and start building your own. This is always a fun process. Trying to not murder yourself. Murder! Oh, this one might be easy. Oh, look at that. Perfect. This thing is ready to rock and roll. The cool thing about this is there's no supports. There's nothing you need to worry about. You literally just print it, pop it off, and then you can go straight to the bench and start putting all of your electronics into it. And yes, I have tested this strength endurance wise, and also I've tested the crap out of being able to print it. I've printed quite a few of them, and it prints really easy. Once you get the frame printed, you can print this out of any material you like. But these motor mounts you need to print out of NinjaFlex. I've tried with other flexible filaments and it just doesn't work as well as NinjaFlex. Now these motor mounts press right into each of the arms and then you press the motor into it and that's what holds the motors in place. Also because they're so squishy, it really dampens the vibrations. That way the flight control board has a really clean sensor reading. Features. Okay, the first thing that I want to address is the weight of the Mark 11 frame. It weighs about 10.5 grams, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on the infill percentage that you print it with. Now, that is about 3 grams heavier than the QX90 frame. The reason for that is I decided to make it a little bit heavier to beef up and make it stronger and more impact resistant because when I was playing with lighter frames, they kept breaking and I spent a lot of time reprinting and rebuilding the quadcopter versus just crashing and then knocking off the dust, putting on a new prop, and then getting back in the air. This frame I feel like is a really good balance of weight and durability. A frame's stiffness is very important in how a quadcopter performs, and I want to show you how the QX90 and the Mark 11 differ greatly in stiffness. Watch the arm right here on the QX90. It just bends, whereas the Mark 11, these arms, I designed them to be super stiff. Like they don't bend. The frame flexes a little bit, but it comes right back and it's a very stiff frame compared to the QX90. As I was designing this, I was flying and crashing a lot. And one of the things that I learned that was a good lesson is that whenever you do crash into something, you want to make sure that your frame is taking the brunt of that impact and your electronics are not. So specifically the camera and the video transmitter, you don't want those ever to be able to hit anything. So what I've done with this frame is I've made a little tongue that sticks out so that the impact is transferred through the chassis or the frame and not the electronics. I was careful when I spaced out the motors in this frame and they're just wide enough so you can put parrot props on and they will not hit. So you can put just about any prop on this within reason and you're gonna be good to go. I also wanted to figure out a clean way to route the wires from the flight control board down to the motors. And I did that by using a hollow arm. Now it's not just like a straw, there's an actual I-beam type structure and it goes the entire length of the arm and you can see that there's no wires going from the motor anywhere. It's all internal into the frame. I put this next feature in because I'm a little bit OCD about cable management. Most quadcopters have a connector and it just sticks out the tail and you put your battery on and you plug it in and you've got this bunch of wires that just sticks out. Well, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I took the connector that stays in the frame and I have it hard mounted to the side so that whenever you put your battery on, you just plug it right in and you're ready to rock and roll. It's always in the same spot. You don't have to fiddle with it and it never gets flipped up and gets cut in the props. It's just a much neater way to hold the connector onto the chassis. Well, I'm gonna do a giveaway, guys. Put in the comments down below what you like about this frame and why you want one. And if you're selected, I will send you an entire 3D printed frame with the motor mounts. That about covers all the features that I wanted to talk about in this video for the Mark 11. If you want to watch the video on how to install all the electronics, you can click over here, or you can just be a cowboy and print your own and mount whatever you want in there and see how it works. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel so you get more video updates, and as always, I will see you next time!